I've officially finished season 1 of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, and I gotta show y'all this quick scene because this is diabolical work here. What I'm about to show y'all, diabolical work. If y'all haven't finished season 1, don't watch, but I'm about to show y'all something. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched episode 25, the last episode of season 1, don't watch this video, bro. What are you doing? I'm about to spoil the whole season and give you my thoughts. This scene was diabolical work. This is when this dude, I think his name is Gaelio or something, he discovers McGillis is really behind everything. I trusted you with my little sister. Listen to what McGillis says. Diabolical work. He told this man as he's about to give him a permanent L that he's gonna take good care of his little sister, that he's gonna make sure his little sister lives a happy life, and then proceeds to stab this dude's mech through the chest. Diabolical work. So first thing I want to talk about, and this is probably going to be a longer video because I'm kind of going over the season and my thoughts. This season was fire. The biggest revelation was him betraying his friends. And the reason he had to betray him was to get Gjallarhorn to where he wanted to be. He realized like he has to do certain things for public appearance. And he couldn't accept things like friendship because he literally said, I've lived my life in anger far too long. He's the villain we didn't know we needed. For him, and this scene kind of hurt. As much as I don't like Gaelio, I said his name was like Galileo last clip, but it's Gaelio. As much as we don't like Gaelio or Ain, as a matter of fact, I actually hate Ain, we'll get to that later. Gaelio was always picking a fight with Mikazuki because what I deem to be an inferiority complex. He didn't like the idea of losing to a space rat, so he kept picking a fight until he could restore his honor. For this man, who was his best friend throughout the entire season, for us to see this ultimate betrayal, and what makes it worse is how easily he beats him. Oh, that hurt. And to see just his mech, how his mech just fell at the end, that really hurt. And I don't even like Gaelio, but his own friend doing him dirty like that, McGillis is 1000% the villain. I already know season 2 is about to be Tekkadan versus him. Their alliance is done. Now you gotta finish this man and finish off Gjallarhorn. That's gonna be tough in season 2. Mikazuki versus Ain. This is Mikazuki finally tapped in more to the Alea Vinyana system, so yeah, that's cool and whatever. But what happened to him, he fully deserved it. Ain was a scumbag who could not see the bigger picture. He was so hopped up on, my lieutenant was a nice guy, there's no way he would have done something and deserved death, yada yada yada. And when they implanted the Alea Vinyana system in him and turned him more so robotic, because I think he's kind of like in a comatose state, but his mind is being transferred into the machine, he went completely bat-ish crazy. And yeah, this instilled fear into the masses. Even the people on Gjallarhorn's side was like, bro, what's happening here? So he was literally like a useless pawn throughout the entire series. Hated his character, hated his voice, hated his motivation. There's no redeeming qualities about this Ain dude whatsoever. I'm glad this scene happened. Hey dog, rest in piss. No cap, I thought she took an L. I thought we lost her. I thought she took an L, and I thought he took an L. This is the L team that's laying down. I thought they were all permanently gone. Like, the way they were fighting against Ain when he was in that suit, he, like, stabbed them up, and you saw the liquid spurt out. I thought they were done for. I'm glad they made it out alive, because I feel like this would have impacted the relationship between Orga and his brother, what's his name, Naze. I feel like if Naze lost 2 of his wives, he would have looked at Orga a little differently. Like, why was I even helping you? Now I lost important people to me. Not remembering that they're in a war. And that's the biggest thing here. This whole last episode was Orga drove his crew into a, not necessarily a losing battle because they won in the end, but a battle where casualties were not only expected, but were guaranteed. He knew going into this fight that not everybody was going to make it out. And to his credit, he asked his crew, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You can leave now. But if you want to honor the memories of our fallen comrades, let's go. It's time to mount up. We're going to go on full offensive. We will not all return home. But for those of us who do, we will honor our fallen comrades' memories. And they lost a lot of people. Like, a lot of people got blown up, bro. A lot of permanent L's was dished out this episode, which again just goes to remind us that these kids, and they are kids, are at war with, I think Gallahorn is a government agency. And we know when it comes to war, the government does not play fair. So they reach Parliament. She gives her speech. Everything goes according to how they think. Now, side effects of the battle. He can no longer see out of this eye, and he can no longer use this arm unless he's hooked up to Barbatos. That's the only time he regains functionality. But pretty much the right side of his body, he just can't use anymore. Side effect of how deep he went into the Alea Vignana system. But it's a price he was willing to pay. Because we all know when it comes to him and Orga, his whole thing is he will 100% accomplish whatever mission Orga gives him, no matter the cost. And that relationship is something I'm still invested in. But overall, I kind of wish this ended at season 1. This was, and not necessarily a happy ending, but I feel like this would have been the happiest ending we could have gotten. Where missions accomplished, we delivered her first mission was accomplished. They lost a lot of good people, but they also found the motivation to keep going forward. Like, this was a perfect stopping point for Iron-Blooded Orphans. And knowing what I know, knowing how the last episode plays out, my heart is already starting to break a little bit. And I said when I started talking about this series and I started watching, I said it couldn't be bad. I wouldn't get this invested, but yet here I am. Because I've seen the last episode, but I didn't know the characters. I'm invested. I know what happens with them. I'm invested now, and bro, that's why I'm saying it should have just ended here. I'm terrified to start season 2 because I know what it's gonna lead to, bro. So the whole time I'm watching season 2, I'm just gonna be waiting for the other shoe to drop. I really don't want to start season 2. Why couldn't it just end here? I hate that I feel bad for this guy because I've hated him the entire first season. And in this very last episode, it's this face, man. This is the face you make when you realize the person you trusted the most, the person you banged with since childhood, not only betrayed you, but is about to hand you a permanent L, one you can't come back from. He's about to lay you down for the eternal rest. How do you fight your best friend? And then not only did he realize that his best friend sold him out and used him, but also that the girl you grew up with, your other best friend, your female best friend who was in love with this man, he used her. So her permanent L, her eternal rest is on him too. He didn't care about both of y'all. And the fact that y'all grew up for 15 to, I don't know how old they are, 15 to 20 years together, for him to set you up like this, to end everything. You get no continue, you get no tomorrow. That's the face of it all hitting at once, and I guess that's why I feel bad. Because while he did deserve his outcome, I feel like he deserved it from somebody from Tekkadan, not from his best friend. Same thing with the other homegirl. To realize that y'all were just pawns on a chessboard, and that goes with anybody. To realize anybody's just a pawn on a chessboard and that their life really didn't necessarily matter, it just furthered a motive. God, that hurt my spirits. And to think that's probably gonna be what all of season 2 is, my heart is already breaking, bro. I don't want to watch season 2. I want to stop here and pretend there was no season 2 and that this is as close to a happily ever after we'll get. But I got a feeling, this face, I'm about to see a lot more of it.